Welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games or forgotten settings the roll of the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, thrilled to welcome you to the next chapter in our adventure. Our heroes have survived the shifting maze and received a new, terrible power. But will it be enough to weather the coming storm? Find out as we explore a new land of power and ancient secrets in Exalted, Duel of Hierarchs. Hello and welcome to the RPG Blender. I'm your host, Game Master George, and joining me today we have Craig. Say hello, Craig.
Howdy, howdy, gang.
We have Rich. Say hello, Rich.
Howdy, everybody.
And we have Ed. Say hello, Ed.
Again, you leave me without an option for howdies. Last time you counted up, this time you count down. Why? Why do you do me like this? Hi.
And Greg will be joining us later during this session. We didn't want him to join in too early and get spoiled with stuff that's happened already, since his character has not been introduced yet. So, when we last left our people, I don't know if I can call you heroes yet.
I would call us heroes.
I would not.
I wouldn't call it heroes.
You took a job to go into the sewers beneath Nexus to rescue a woman and bring her back from the clutches of whatever was keeping her down there. You then went down there. One of you got your foot covered in molten metal.
Yeah, that sucked.
You then found her being assaulted by hobgoblins. You took a pot shot at one of the hobgoblins and then made your way into a maze. And during that maze, you encountered a strange creature within the maze itself, who, after a back and forth with strings-like fingers, did I get your name right? Great. Went to go shake his hand, and he suddenly began to erupt in golden light. The light shone across the room, and the maze melted away, leaving you in a large open cavern with no sign of what had previously harried you. And that is where we jump back in.
And he's still glowing.
Yes, he is.
I immediately start laughing and just clapping. I'm like, yes!
I'm just going to look around and be like, I'd love to say I meant to do that, though I'm not entirely sure what it is that I have done.
Well, that's a big question to answer, to say the least. Welcome to the ranks of the, I don't know. And Lau turns to Rakim and says, I don't know, what do we call ourselves? The Ascended?
I was calling us animal people in my head, so Ascended is much better, yeah.
I suppose that's fair.
I'm not sure. Animal people has a certain ring to it.
The anima, nonetheless, have you heard the tales of the individuals wreathed in golden fire who have walked the lands?
Have I? I'm going to do a lore check really quick. Is this lore intelligence?
Yes.
Great.
I feel like in this world, this is kind of being like, do you know about Christmas? Like, it's just very...
But how much do I know about Christmas? Or
Yes.
am I Jewish?
Yes.
I got a 7. So, sorry, I got 1 7. So that's that's the guy.
Very different.
So you got one success.
That is correct.
Okay. You know of stories of... Well, you are a member of the Immaculate Order. You've been taught that you are hunting things that are looking very much like you right now. Demons of golden fire, who at one point were destroying the world before the dragon-blooded rose up to overthrow them and save this world, save creation.
I kind of look down at myself and I'm glowing and I kind of try to wipe it off for a little bit. And when that doesn't work, I just look down at myself and I go, beans. And I kind of sit.
Oh, it's not a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal. I actually look over at my compatriot, who's obviously giving me a look. I'm like, all right, it is a little bit a big deal, but it is, you are still you, Strings.
Well, that's
Agreed.
not the part I'm worried about. The part I'm worried about is the much more that there is to me now, and what people that I know, people that I'm close to, people that expect things of me, will think of me.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The follow-up to your ascension is a bit of a messy one, but it doesn't mean that your life is over, simply that your life has changed. Same happened for me, and he loud turns to Rakim and goes, we can sort of be open now, right? I mean,
You started this off by welcoming me to the ranks of the Ascended Animal people, so I sort of assumed you were in on this too.
yes, you would be correct in that assumption.
I
Oh,
think he means
goody.
our names.
But yes, we haven't been exactly forthright in this endeavor. The names that we took were not of our own. They were actually two individuals that were supposed to be with you earlier. However, they had information that you were going to become what you are now and kill you.
Yeah, not very cool.
We stopped that and took their places to make sure that when it was to happen, we would be able to help you sort of understand what comes next. I mean, myself and, by the way, my name is not Lau. My name is Dirham. Dirham Brath.
Dirham Brath.
And this is my companion, Smiling Mountain. You got very close to his name.
Oh, it's,
I was about to say, I point to you and I go, well, that one makes sense.
Yeah. It's sort of hard to give him an alias. The guy's pretty much a walking mountain. And smiles a lot, too.
it's a lot to be happy about. Like you are here now. I knew you were the guy.
He did. He was saying it the whole time.
So, wait, people knew this was going to happen to me? How did I not know this was going to happen to me? Well, that's fair.
As far as discovering the rhyme or reason for why it manifests in an individual, that's not entirely understood. But there are some more attuned to the powers and some that are not.
It seems like, at least for me and Dirham, was a bit of guesswork. They knew something was going to appear somewhere where we were. We thought we were going to hunt it, and then it,
Staying
was
close
us.
to their trail. Yes, exactly. We had a bit of our own ordeal in trying to hunt down some of these ascended individuals as well. But in this case, with them on the trail, for us, it was better to follow them and try and find their target and stop them before they could. When we found out it came down to you, Strings, we stopped them early, took their place, and what better way to make sure that everything goes well?
Certainly it seems that way. I'm not sure if I should thank you or take about 5 steps back.
No, it's fine, really. And Dirham at this point will also rip off some of the cloth that's wrapped around his armament, which you see the nozzle of it is a golden open dragon's mouth that's still kind of like smoldering from the shot earlier.
I was about to say, this is the thing that like burst before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to take a big old look at that. Can I do like a lore check or some kind of check just to see if I know anything about this kind of weapon?
Yes, that would be... Which is the one you have a specialty in, Dirham?
Me?
No, Dirham, you have a specialty that's related to that, right?
I do.
Which skill is that in?
I have a specialty. Well, actually, I have a specialty in craft and also, I think, in lore.
Okay, then lore. Intelligence lore.
All right, that's 2 successes.
Okay. You are not familiar with that itself. It's obviously an artifact, which is something that comes from an age long past. It could be from all the way back in the time of your predecessors walking around. It could be from the shogunate. It doesn't look terribly old, so it's probably closer to the shogunate. But it is clearly some kind of flame... What was the name of the actual weapon?
Dragon Sai Wand.
Dragon Sai Wand, which uses fire dust in order to create a burst of flame.
Oh, is that all? Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
It is very common in the south.
Yeah, I think Strings kind of had like a suspicion, but now he's really looking at this like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But the good news is we offer you a new path. I hate to tell you this, but your previous life is probably gone.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, congrats on this, and he motions to the board.
Yeah, I kind of look at myself and I go, honestly, wouldn't be the first time. This might as well happen, right?
By the way, Dirham now takes a moment to look at the girl.
Yeah, I was wondering how she
Oh,
was
yeah,
reacting.
no, I think it's just, we're all talking to each other, we're all like smiling and laughing. Just slowly we all turn back.
She is staring, mouth agape, and eyes squinting a little bit at the very bright light that is emitting from Strings.
It's cool, right?
Yes, it's awesome! Oh my god, I can't believe this!
Yes,
What does it feel like?
Well, turns to Strings. How does it feel?
Tingly's the wrong word. I'd go with warm. I'd go with weird.
Warm is a very good descriptor. Everything around you, everyone around you, feels a distinct warmth coming off of you.
Neato. Yeah.
With a warm responsibility.
I kind of pull my like long silken robe off my shoulders, so I can kind of enjoy the warmth a little bit better.
And now I need to put you on the spot here.
Oh no.
Every Exalted has an anima. This could be something like a tiger whose roar shakes the heavens, or a swirling storm of parchment around you. This is some kind of visual effect that happens when your anima gets to this level. What is a good representation of strings like fingers?
Yeah, we had time to think about this. You're screwed.
All right. How
I don't believe in preparation.
like, okay, no. I think I got one. I think I got one that I kind of like. How does it have to actually be like something floating around me, or can it be a little bit more subtle?
Oh, it's something that's going to be obvious.
But I mean, just like,
Yeah.
is it going to be just like, an animal appears behind me, or like 9 tails explode out of my back? Or
It doesn't have to be like that. I mean, it can be something more
cool.
Elegant.
elegant. Yes, it can be something more elegant. But to quote from the rulebook, yes, it appears and then collapses into a raging bonfire of spiritual power stretching high into the air, visible for miles. So this is not a subtle effect.
Okay.
There are no shadows in this very large cavern.
Got it. Then that won't really work. What I was thinking about.
What's your Patronus, son?
Yeah,
it's
man.
Let's go full anime. Yeah, I think when the animus is like in full bloom, a spectral instrument appears in String's hands, and it can change its shape, it can change its form. It could be like a lyre, it could be like a guitar, it could be a mandolin or something different. But just these like swarming flower petals start to surround him as he like plays and engages with it. And if the faster or slower he's playing, the more the whirlwind is. So if he's not playing, these petals are just static around him, like glowing and frozen in the air.
Okay. So this instrument, is it made of the flower petals, which you have a storm of petals around you, you reach out into it and grab your instrument made of petals?
I think they
of light?
Coagulate is the wrong word, but it's the word I'm using. Yeah, they sort of like coagulate out of the petals surrounding me.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So what instrument appeared in front of you?
I think this time it's... Yeah, I like the idea of like a lyre, like a pretty big lyre, sort of harp-like, just sitting before me.
Right.
And
And of
I
course,
think
it's not
Strings-
actually a physical thing. It's an
Yeah,
emanation
but I think
of light.
I think
but
Strings
yeah,
kind of walks up and examines it. Yeah.
Yes. It is a pure emanation of light, and as you reach out to touch it, if you reach out to touch it, it breaks apart a little bit, enhancing your glow even further.
Love this.
Okay.
After taking a moment just to like appreciate the moment of watching from the outside, really, another ascended sort of dwell in the moment. Dirm will take a quick beat to just scan the surrounding area with this blazing light to sort of try to identify the next exit from this vacuous cavern.
Yes. Across the way from where you entered here, you can see a path that looks like it's leading up.
Well, turning back to the group, we do still have something that needs to be taken care of, and as he indicates to the little girl. However, Strings, you're more than welcome to accompany us.
I don't feel particularly safe not being with you at the moment, especially until I figure all this out. I kind of pick a few of the flower petals out of the air, trying to like put them away, and it's just not working. Yeah, I think being with you is the better choice.
We're happy to show you what we know, but Mountain and I are only so acclimated with it as well. But we're happy to assist.
We did not have teachers ourselves. Takes a bit of hang of.
Yeah.
I can hang.
And hang you shall.
So anyway, everything they teach us about this is bullshit. We obviously not taking over. We do good things. I'm just rambling as we're like talking, or as we're walking through the.
Start making it down towards the exit.
Yeah.
He is still very much glowing.
Oh wait, yeah, we can't do this. How long did it take us for our glow system?
Yeah, when do I stop glowing? Is this forever now?
No, it's not forever.
It took about an hour for it to settle.
Oh, all right. Well, everyone sit and have some jerky.
I try to like cover myself. Does anything cover this up?
No. It's as you try to cover yourself, and it becomes apparent that while the glow is coming from you, it's also the air around you which is enhancing it. So it's not just yourself that's glowing, you're also drawing something from around you that's causing this glow.
I pat you on the shoulder and I say, "Little hero, you are bigger than this." And I point at your chest and I say, "And this," and I point at all the, like, I kind of run my hands through the flower petals, "is you. This is how big you really are. Relish."
When he runs his like hand through the petals, can I feel that?
No.
Okay, so that's thank God.
So it's not like somebody's going to come up with a sword and just start slashing all those petals and you're going to die.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The petals also do go away after
Okay,
a
great.
few minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
so
the
he's gonna
glow
kinda, like,
stays for an
sit
hour,
with
but the
this
petals
for a
settle.
second. He's gonna get kind of like quiet for a little bit, and like pull out his pipe and just sit on the ground with his long pipe and smoke while he waits for the glowing to stop. And he's just gonna kind of think.
I leave you to that. Oh, I do tell the girl, I'm like, obviously we're not bad, so yeah.
Of course not. Oh my god, that was amazing. How did it happen for you?
I look at Tiram.
Yeah, I kind of look up a little bit. I'm interested in this part.
Why don't we get out of here first, and maybe we could tell you a tale.
Well, we have to wait anyway.
Well, he has to wait. I, on the other hand, and I start walking towards the way, I'm going to just scout out the path.
All right, I will stay here.
And Dirham goes towards the exit way to go survey
boy.
the surroundings.
Okay.
Always
you,
seems to happen.
you take the path. It's a fairly, well, it's a rocky path leading up through the underground, and eventually you do find yourself at a doorway which seems to probably lead into an open building.
And just in surveying the pathway, no signs of activity. Now I'm looking for any tracks or anything to indicate.
Oh, there are tracks. You see tracks of hobgoblins, or those creatures,
Leading to the building, or leading to the doorway.
leading the
what
path
looks to
that
be-
you went.
Okay.
So they've obviously gone this way before.
Okay. And it leads to a building, you said?
It leads to a door, and on the other side you can make through the crack what looks like a large open building.
Okay. Okay. I'm just going to listen for a moment, make sure that I'm not hearing any activity or signs and indications of hobgoblins, and then make my way back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Make
good
your way
point.
back.
I mean, we like shot at that little party of them that got away. Do we hear anything like that around us in the big, no longer labyrinth room?
Nope.
Though, in line with that, thank you, Ed. Do I see any signs of blood?
No.
Well, that sucks. Okay. I head back to the group.
Hey, you make your way back to the group, and you guys wait for the next hour.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll keep talking and stuff like that. I mean,
I would like to
I don't
stop
shut up.
glowing, please.
After about 15 minutes, the bonfire recedes somewhat, and then it's just... You can still see the glow coming off of him, but it's more wisps of energy that are emitting rather than the huge bonfire of light that it was before. After about another 15, it's just his person itself that is glowing a little bit, and then it takes about a half hour before that goes away.
So anyway, it seems to happen whenever people do something. Not sure. Do something heroic.
I think it's based on the trigger of our power.
Well, that could be, yeah.
Whichever way it occurs, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. We don't truly understand the extent of our abilities, but we do know that they're feared for a reason. As you just saw, they're capable of great things, and great can be good, and great can be bad. That's for us to decide.
This is true. And we only have a sample size of 3 so far, so it's not a lot.
That's
So
fair.
far, it's a good pool.
Yeah.
Sorry to double back again a second, but you say that you stopped 2 people who were coming to destroy me. Do we know who they were working for?
They work for Dragon people, yeah?
The Immaculate Order.
Yeah, that's them. I say to the loudspeaker. The Immaculate Order.
I was afraid of that. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
Unfortunately, this is why Dhiram tell you your old life is...
If that is true, my old life was about to be over in a myriad of different ways, so this is probably the best outcome, actually.
But the good news is there are other opportunities here. I mean, the Scarlet Empress exists as sort of a controversial figure, but she has done many good things in controversial ways. We too can do that with what we have. It's possible, and it's even more possible, that the history itself vilifies what we are, when that may be simply the individuals who won. That which still exists gets to decide what history says. My belief is there's a way to change that. But we're not going to
Okay.
do it in here.
Yeah, we do have to save a friend. Also, does she have a hood or anything on?
No.
That's a
Fuck,
good
we gotta
point.
get a hood or something.
I give her like my crazy robe, which I mean, Strings thinks he looks a little bit better in, but like that's not really my place to say.
She looks at it, but does not take it.
We need to hide a bit.
I agree with my
Why?
friend.
Why?
It is people sent us in here to look for you, and they sent us here on false pretenses. So we have reason to believe that those people would negatively impact our search for your father.
And if they come, you three are more than capable of dealing with them.
Yes,
Not
but
the
we'd
whole
like to
city.
have the opportunity to handle them as we see fit.
Very well. She looks very visibly upset about doing this, but she does take it and cloaks herself.
It's about knowing when to fight, little one.
I will be having that back.
Yes, you will.
All right, shall we? And Durham turns and starts going down the path.
Okay.
I follow.
I thought it was all animals, and now we have guitars and pedals, so that's pretty good.
It just opens up a wide range of opportunities for newly ascended individuals.
Okay. So, you make your way up to the streets of Nexus, and I will now admit Greg. So, once he gets all set up, I'm going to ask the three of you to mute your audio so that you cannot hear while I talk with him about some stuff.
Cool, you
Okay?
got it.
Got it. Yeah.
You just say when.
Yep, I will. Until then,
Wow.
continue bullshitting.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Now nobody can hear me anymore except for Greg, correct?
I can't hear you. Yeah.
Rich cannot hear that all the terrible things that I'm planning to do to him, nor can Ed. Okay, great. So, what is your name?
Cyrus Nidala. And I do use my family name.
Okay.
Even,
And you,
sorry,
if-
Sinus. Sorry, not Cyrus. Sinus. What am I doing?
So if I remember correctly, you're kind of a street, not urchin, but like that kind
yeah,
of concept.
I've been living on the streets. When I have money, I spend it because I aspire to accrue wealth, because I see wealth as a symbol of status, which I want to return to. I want to return to my position in my family, and I want to also wreak vengeance upon those who ousted me. I don't know who they are, but I want to find out, and I want to get revenge, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, in your travels, in your attempting to make your way in this world, you made your way to the city of Nexus sometime within the past year, and you've been there for some time. It's your choice. How far in that range would you like to have arrived in the city of Nexus?
Yeah, sure. Within the past, 6 months. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. In the time here, you've managed to start to make a name for yourself as a person who gets things done. And as such, one of the hierarchs of the city reached out to you with a job. They would like you to meet 3 individuals who will be escorting a young woman. They should be emerging from the Fire Wanderer district of the city shortly. You're to go there, meet with them, and convince them to come back and meet with Hierarch Devora, and then to accompany them on the coming journey.
And they're in the Fire Arc district, you said?
The Fire Wanderer district.
Fire Wanderer district, and I will know these people by the fact that they are accompanying this woman. It's 3.
Oh, well, you'll
individuals.
know them by the fact that one of them is a fairly flamboyant-looking individual, and one of them is approximately 10 feet tall, and the other one, and of course they're with a young woman.
Okay, 10-foot tall person was all you had to say.
Yep, pretty much.
That covers the bases. All right, cool.
Okay, so she gives you the directions of where to go, where to meet them.
The Fire
And-
Wanderer district.
Fire Wanderer district.
Fire
Yes.
Wanderer, not Fire Wander. Fire Wanderer. Durer.
Okay. Then is everybody back and ready? Mm-hmm. All right. The 3 of you emerge back onto the streets of Nexus.
Right, so we probably should have thought of this before, but what is planned?
Yeah, no, that's a fine point. I've just stopped glowing, so I didn't really come up with anything.
And Greg,
George-
you see a 10-foot tall man, a very flamboyant man, and a fairly average-looking guy. Am I correct there?
Yeah, I'm average.
A fairly average-looking
But
guy.
I'm strikingly average.
Strikingly average.
Durham, every man.
Walk out of one of the buildings in the Fire Wanderer district, accompanying a young woman in a hood, cloak. What did you give her?
I absolutely gave her like my crazy colorful blue and red robe.
Okay, so he's a little less flamboyant than you expected.
Slightly. I still got the nails and like the
Yes.
kabuku ass pipe and the high heel sandals. No. I'm still pretty flamboyant.
Awesome.
We're gonna get on
All right,
just
so it took me a
fine.
moment to just process all of that. My character will make his way up to this group of peculiar individuals.
Ooh, what do we see?
Shall I describe myself?
Yes, the three of you see a man approaching you. He looks like...
A man. Sort of.
He's male. He appears to be of the masculine gender.
Yes. You see before you a youthful man with pale skin or white skin, but like a little paler than normal. Clearly hasn't seen much toil in his days. He has sort of like a shawl wrapped around himself. At his waist is a scabbard with a scimitar in it. Seems to be rather plain and ordinary, but around his hand he has a few rings that clearly signify he has had wealth of some kind in the past. And he has just sort of striking bright green eyes, and he looks at the flamboyant one and says, "Oh, well, hello there. I've been looking for you."
As you say, I've been looking for you. I kind of turn to the other two guys like, he's been looking for me. Is this,
Well,
am I
sorry.
cool with this?
I don't mean to. I've been looking for all of you, as a matter of fact. I have been requested to bring you to someone of great importance. I hear it can be quite useful for all of us if we proceed.
Very interesting. And who would that person be?
Hierarch Devora.
Hierarch Devora, you say?
That is correct. They're a person of great power. They can assist you.
I might have missed it. Greg, did you mention the most striking feature?
Oh, I did not. Because underneath my shawl, crap, I can't even say it. A creature poke its head out. Go on, say hello there, Uber. Hello.
What am I looking at?
Yeah, I need more. Say more words about everything that's happening right now.
Is a big, vague category.
George, would you care to describe your character?
Your character, George?
Fuck me. So you see, popping out from his shawl, a monkey.
Oh.
You
Yes.
a fucking monkey.
Which then said, in a somewhat parrot-like manner, hello.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to startle you or anything. That there is just Uber. He's my friend and companion. We shall be escorting you if we can make haste.
That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry.
Actually, thank you.
The name escaped me. You said Hierarch.
Devora. That would be Devora. Hierarch Devora.
George, can I throw some lore at
Yes.
that name in conjunction with Hierarch Artesia Sapphire?
Artemisia Sapphire, but
Artemisia?
yes.
Yeah, you
Yep.
knew what I meant. You knew what I
Yep,
meant.
intelligence lore.
Word up. Intelligence lore. 3 successes.
Okay. Hierarch Devora Odom. She is an older member of the guild. She does not have as high of a place as Artemisia does. However, she has generally maintained a favorable outlook within the city. There are very few people who dislike her. She is very forthright with her business. She does not attempt to... Her goals are not always profit over everything else. Her goal is to make sure that things run smoothly, that there are no hiccups and no large problems along the way.
Okay. My character continues to say, and you said you were looking for us? Us in particular? Who?
Yes, of course. I was told to find you. I was expecting to be a little harder, but granted, given by everything that I've seen, really stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, that's the big guy. He's more mountain than he is man, but
I thought he was talking about little friend.
At this point,
Am I little friend?
Yes.
Oh,
at
great.
this point,
Excellent.
you hear very sizable hoofprints coming up the road.
We should leave.
Wait a
Were
minute.
you just in the middle of something?
And recollecting one large thing that's not here, turns to Strings and goes, does your friend follow you everywhere and anywhere? Does that sound like... And he'll turn in the direction of where the hoofs are.
I turn and I go, oh yes, it's only a matter of time before he finds me. Is this my friend or is this? Oh, thank God!
Yes,
Invincible
this is
2?
your friend. This is your friend leading the man who had originally brought you into the sewer, into the underground.
Oh,
Interesting. Dirham's eyes gain a bit of sharpness to them as the man comes into sight along with the animal, and then immediately shakes his head and turns to the other two and goes, don't forget his position. But your giant horse companion is back, Strings. Isn't that great? And gives like a weird, like neutral-ish smile to this newcomer. Not even trying to explain what this is about.
I just start stroking Invincible 2's mane. I actually give him like a toke of my pipe, and then I take it back.
Ah, another fellow animal lover, I see. Very nice, very nice.
Oh, animal is not the right word for Invincible 2. Invincible 2 is something more than an animal. And I just kind of like nuzzle his neck really quick.
Which, by the way, Greg, just for perspective, this horse is like big enough for the giant guy, the 10-foot tall guy, to ride. To put into perspective.
That's a big horse right there. Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So.
But we're getting distracted, and hello again. Giving a little nod to the silent guard who is accompanying the horse.
He gives a silent nod.
I didn't catch your name, friend. You are...
Sinus, of course. Sinus Nadala.
Sinus, yes. Well, I am Lau. The big man is Rakim, and this is Strings.
Strings, you don't have a house name?
I am between houses at the moment.
He is joke. He has bad relationship with father. It's okay.
Okay, wait, hey, I'm
Speak no more, my friends. Speak no more. I am very familiar with fathers that are not proud of their sons. Well, we shall be off, I assume, unless you
You're a
have
monkey.
other business
Who would
here.
not be proud of this?
Oh, well, you haven't met my father.
Your father's not a monkey fan, then I'm no fan of his.
I like you, Strings. I like you quite a lot.
Sinus, I think you and I are going to have a fine time. Also, wait, nope, it's Nadala, isn't it? Because it's the...
Yes,
I will get this one day!
Alright, so, well, that passage led back up here, so we should resupply and then head back down into the copper.
Into the copper.
Anyway, yeah, lead us around or something.
I take the lead, and I lead this merry band of misfits in the direction of Hierarch Devora.
Lau gives a quick look while they're beginning their walk to Rakim, and then his eyes dart over to the guard, who's also still standing here.
Yeah. I don't have any way of being subtle with you because my deception is just absolute garbage. That was my max subtlety. Like, that was a strain. I just kind of like, when the guard turns around, I'll try and let him go ahead, and I just turn and I just shrug, like, what? Like, at Lau.
Yeah, that's all I'll get. George, Lau at this point, with this odd cacophony of interactions, will just try to take in the guard's reaction to the robed little girl, and whether or not he's even aware of her in this group. That's probably what decides how we proceed.
Yeah,
As he looked over all of you, his gaze did linger on her a little longer.
Lau will look at him and go, "We are not yet finished with our business, but when we are, we will return to Hierarch Sapphire."
He nods and then gestures at you as if in a question of should he accompany you.
Why don't you stay at your position, take care of yourself as needed. We'll check back in with you as soon as we're ready.
He walks over to a wall, nods, and then stands there.
Very good.
You still have water?
Yes.
No, I ask him.
He nods. He nods, and he sloshes around a still mostly full canteen.
Good. Just making sure.
All right. Nadala, was it?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Lead the way.
Very well. Follow me.
So
Okay.
does he have like a contract or something?
Oh, yes. Yes, I was hired by the Hierarch in order to bring you. I have a way of acquiring things. Quite a knack for it, in fact. Quite a little reputation as well. I'm surprised you didn't recognize my name when I said it.
No, didn't ring a bell. I'm really sure what to tell you about that.
Nadala looks down and is definitely a little upset at that fact.
But I'm sure that's not on you. I'm sure that's my fault. I'm just not familiar with...
Yeah, I've only been in the city for a couple of months, so it's understandable that you haven't quite heard of me.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, that long. Of course it would be. Short. That's short. Of course it would be. I wouldn't know. Duh.
You have to tell people with loose lips your stories. That way they can
Yes.
spread them around.
Yeah,
Maybe you're
you're
telling good tight-lipped people.
Yeah, too trusting of individuals who keep your info close to the vest. Looser lips, they sink the ships. That's how it goes.
You really think so? You think if I told more people, they would spread the word?
Well, I mean, you would have to have alias or something like, the Black Cat of Midnight or something. I mean, you don't want to get, in trouble.
Yeah, so that you could live comfortably. Maybe the preferred pilferer or something like that. That would actually be a little more... I mean, not that I'm assuming anything. I mean,
I'm assuming it. I'm just...
What do you think, Uber? What do you think? Preferred pilfer? What do you think about that? Uber doesn't like it. I don't think I could go for that. Sorry.
Fair. Well, it's work in progress. It's probably why we've heard, but it's not on you. Got to just workshop it a bit. Is this a place?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
house.
Yes. Now that I have an opening, yes. You make your way over to Hierarch Devora Odom's place of business. It is not as nice as that of Artemisia Sapphire. It's much more quaint and homely than hers was. You are welcomed inside and brought into a sitting room. The sitting room is warm and welcoming and smells vaguely like a comfortable kitchen. Small puffs of steam rise from a nearby kettle, which sits on a ceramic plate in the center of a coffee table, separating you from the aged Devora. The wrinkled old woman leans forward, pours herself a cup, then offers the kettle to you. Tea?
Oh, don't mind if I do. Thank you, darling.
I also slide in next to my new best friend with my pipe, and I go, just would be absolutely lovely. Excuse me.
Do you go to take the kettle or have her pour for herself, for you?
I would love to do a social roll to see what is custom.
And this is. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Lean on the dice.
Intelligent
Lean on the dice.
socialize.
Cool. Intelligent socialize?
So, Greg, while he is making that roll, the mechanics
also-
of this system.
This counts as upper class, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, it has. The mechanics of the system, Greg. You roll a, much like Paranoia, ability
D6.
plus, no, it's D10s.
D10, ooh.
So, you roll a number of D10s equal to your attribute plus the skill. Any 7s, 8s, 9s, or 10s are successes. 10s count as 2 successes. Okay?
And then if you have a specialty in that, it increases or something,
By
right?
1 die.
By 1?
You get 1
Okay.
extra die, yes.
Gotcha.
Strings. What was your result?
I got 4 successes. 7, 9, and a 10, which explodes.
Okay. The custom would be to allow her to pour for you if you are in her employ or invited here in some way. It would be for her to pour for you. It shows that you trust her as a host.
Okay, so I guess it is more important for me to show that I trust her than it is for me to make this a power play moment. So knowing full well that I have toxin resistance, I'm going to allow her to pour my own tea.
Okay, she does. She pours a tea with a slightly shaky hand for you, as well as for Nadala. Then she looks questioningly at Lau and Rakim.
Is it rude to refuse? I'm gonna roll a social about that. So.
This is so cool.
Okay.
I just want tea, so I'm just gonna do it.
Okay. Okay. And Lau,
Yeah, I just hold my thing out and say thank you.
she pours you a cup.
While she's pouring all these things, Lau is just taking in the surroundings and observing the environment and the scenario. Sort of absent-minded of the gesture.
Well, then her gaze lingers on you for a moment before passing on, and she puts the kettle down.
How's the tea taste?
Very good. Exquisite. It's got just the right notes of bitterness with a slightly sweet hint behind it. It's very nice. Full flavored. Those are all the descriptors I know for tea.
How's the leafiness? Are there any like leaves left over in the tea, or was it like strained?
Good question.
I like my tea perfectly.
Which is
strained.
good. Whichever is good is what the answer is.
No leaves. No leaves. She's a classic.
No
Please,
leaves. Sure, no leaves.
Oh wow.
You don't want any pieces. You don't want any of that bleh in your teeth and stuff. No leaves. No leaves.
And I will remember that, Greg. Anyway.
Absolutely exquisite, Devora. Absolutely exquisite.
I'm so glad you were able to gather them and bring them here.
Of course. Now about my payment.
You'll receive your payment, don't worry. But there is still more to be done. I understand that you are in the employ, you three, of Hierarch Sapphire.
It would seem so at this time, yes.
And what do you intend to do?
Today?
Do you intend to complete her work?
A fine question. Frankly, I don't believe that she has been as forthright with the task she's set towards us. So we
Certainly
are
not.
We are a bit apprehensive towards any large decisions in that regard before we have more information.
She is a fool who does not see beyond the immediate profit. She does not see what would happen to the city if she were to complete her transaction.
And what transaction would that be?
Yes.
She looks around and... Did you bring Arvia in here with you or not?
We
Yeah,
would have
she-
had to have, yeah.
Yeah, she's here. Might have.
We're definitely not leaving her outside.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
maybe with Invincible too, but like I don't think so.
Yeah, we tied her up to one of the posts with Invincible 2.
Sorry, excuse you. Invincible 2 is in here having tea. Oh! No, I don't think so.
He wouldn't fit... Rakim barely fit through the door.
I know if he
It was
could
a
fit,
struggle.
he would be here.
Though, if possible, I think we probably would have sort of guided her towards Rakim, being a giant man who could, at most, maybe obscure her.
Why, to deliver her to the fair folk, of course, for a tidy sum.
I'd like to throw some lore at the fair folk. That sounds like a buzzword.
Could I get in on that too? Yeah, that's the big
Yeah.
one.
Because
That
Craig don't
explains-
know squat about that.
explains
Could I
the
do a cult
hobgoblins.
on this one actually?
Yes. You can, you'll get different knowledge. But yeah.
I'm fine with that. Occult intelligence.
3 successes.
I got 2.
Okay. Lau, you know that the fair folk are creatures of the chaotic outside, from beyond the borders of creation. They are generally very much against the continuing of normal life here in creation. And Strings, you know that they are so very against it that they generally try to unmake creation and return it to the wild. Sounds very familiar to the conversation that you were having with the creature underground.
Yeah, I assumed it was
Yeah,
a
this
labyrinth
is-
lady.
This is relevant.
She does not see that the immediate profit she would gain for this is outweighed by the fact that they would use her to destroy this city.
What is she gaining by performing this deal? It sounds to
Money.
me like simple commerce.
She does not believe in, as she puts it, this superstitious nonsense. She believes that she has no need for the old ways.
Interesting point of view. Lau gives a glance to Strings and Rakim.
I'm drinking my tea, like, very respectfully. I'm sitting there, I have my pipe in my hand, but I give you a quick look as if to be like, yeah, I heard it too.
It's weird. Why would the hobgoblins be there too?
Good question. No, I don't think we have any intention of handing her target over to her. To say the least, so long as you are not deceiving us. This doesn't sound like anything good for anybody.
Very much so. So what do you intend to do?
Well, before I answer that, what exact stake do you have in this? You hired this infamous individual, motioning over to Nadala, to find us, who brought forward quite good results. What stake do you have in our decision? What would you have?
What would I have you do?
Or if you had say in this? I assume you oppose Hierarch Sapphire, that much is clear.
I
Beyond
do, and
that-
I attempted to convince her of the folly of her way. But she went forward with it anyway. As for my benefit, continued existence, I think that is enough for me.
Rakim does chuckle.
She
That sounds
needs to
pretty
be
good.
brought to her father.
Do you know where he is?
I do not, but the emissary might.
Do you know where they are?
I believe I should be able to locate the emissary, but it will take some time. Meanwhile, you will need to protect her.
I think that could be managed. How much time do you think you need?
A few days at least.
Well,
There's
do
been
you
some
have-
time since he's been spotted in the city. I suspect he went out in search of her father.
Okay. Is this not something that we should pick up on?
To find him?
Well, that was our original intention before.
If you can, yes, you may be able to do so faster than I could. I do not know your resources, but you were skilled enough to find her underneath.
Do you have any
You're
leads
looking
so
for
far?
some.
Sorry, Nadala, what was that?
No, nothing at all. I just was going to suggest if you need help locating someone, there is an infamous person of sorts who is always open for hire to locate specific individuals. Perhaps you've heard of him. I'm not sure.
Oh, who is that?
Yes, I'm also curious. Who would that be?
Oh, but you don't have to put up with this.
No respect! No respect!
It's me! Me!
Oh, right. Right.
Well,
No,
you
no,
were
no.
already signed on for this job, were you not?
Well, yes, of course. Just
I did not think I needed to persuade you twice.
no. They didn't. I was yes, very well.
Good. I'm so glad.
Do you have any
If you-
leads?
Good question.
Well, I suppose you could probably start by looking in the Palace district, where all of the people who fancy themselves as the political powers here dwell. But I must caution you, the fair folk are not the only ones who seek her here.
Would not be surprised. Do you have red tea?
Red tea.
Tea that's red?
Is the
Or
tea that
more
I
red.
have served you insufficient?
No, this tea is delicious, but I do not want tea for that. Do you have red tea?
Is there a check I can make to like translate?
Yeah, is there a check I can make to translate?
No, he speaks in riddles. Figure it out.
Oh man, I know this one. You look in the mirror to see what you saw.
The fish at the bottom of the fish.
Yeah, it was you were standing on a block of ice.
4, then 2, then 3. What am I?
The tea that she served us is more of a black tea, right?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I believe our friend is saying he's ready to go. So
No,
we
it's
can-
not what. No, this is not
ready to go.
I just put a hand on Nadala's shoulder. I'm like, I've known this man for a couple of hours. I'm pretty sure that's not going to work.
No, tea that is more red in hue, like brown tea, light color tea.
Sustainable tea.
Yeah,
Suppose I have some. May I ask why?
for hair. And I point to the girl.
And she looks abashed and immediately, no, I will not.
I shave my head to get rid of my hair. I'm not asking this of you.
And I won't.
Well, I'm glad we've crossed that bridge. However, and now we're on a new bridge, dye hair to make you not look exactly like person many people are trying to find in order to destroy city and all poor people you want to help.
She fixes you with a glance, with a glare.
I just smile.
I will not be controlled.
I'm not trying to control you. I am trying to help you see who you are. is your
I know
pride.
who I am.
So your pride of your hair, of who you are, is
I
very
will not
important.
hide who I am. It's bad enough that I am wearing this cloak.
Lau puts a hand up towards Rakim.
I take his because he's good about knowing when I should shut up. I just nod. I say, it is for you to decide.
I gesture to Rakim as well, and I say, all our friend is implying is that at the foremost and up front of our thoughts is your safety. Nothing more, nothing less. Anything we ask of you or have you wear that perhaps you might have been a little bit more gracious about wearing, we do it for your safety.
In the safety of people in the city.
We do not wish to stifle you. Look at me. I'm the least stifled person I've ever met. I would hate to put that on somebody else. And I kind of click my very long nails together a little bit. We just want to make sure that no harm comes to you.
And if they're going to be hunting for me, don't you think that they might know about you and your... And she clicks her nails like you did. Or about the 10-foot man here with me?
Oh, you know what? This is actually a really good point.
It is, but hopefully they'll be distracted by that.
It's better for them to find us than for them to find you.
Except I'll be with you.
No, this
Yes,
is
but if you are not you, but someone else entirely different, and we were unsuccessful in finding you, then don't you think you have a better chance at getting away should something go wrong?
Should something go wrong, you want me to run?
Yes, I would like you to be able to live. I would like you to have your freedom. I would like all of this to work out for the best possible outcome.
we do not expect you to run.
I will agree to run if you will let me keep my hair.
Sounds like a bargain.
Also, we are in no position to do anything with your hair, so this is fine.
But with Kim, you just... Well, it sounds like we're back at the beginning. Yes, I believe we will take some initiative in this regard. If you would be so kind, Hierarch, as to continue your process in investigating, we'll do our end. Should Nadala here be willing to assist us, put his
Oh,
talents...
anything for the right price, of course, my friend.
I believe that price has already been agreed to. Is that right, Hierarch?
Of course. You will receive the payment we agreed on.
Excellent.
Sounds perfect.
Now watch yourselves. You already know of one threat, but I have heard rumors of a new cult in the city. A death cult.
Sounds friendly.
Go on.
Yes. They worship some powerful ghost called the Walker in Darkness. And he seeks to turn Nexus into another Shadowland, like Thorns.
None of that sounds good.
No, you must not let her fall into the hands of either the Walker or the Fair Folk.
I kind of just gesture to the hierarch, like, see, that's all we were saying. And I didn't even know about the death cult. I'll have my robe back now, and I just kind of like take my robe back, put it back on.
She gives it back, gladly.
It's a very nice robe. Looks good on everyone.
Thank you. See, that's all I'm saying. Thank you, Rakim. I put a very gentle, long-nailed hand on his burly arm.
George, question for you. This establishment we're in, is this more of like sort of a business district rather than
Yes.
Okay.
But this is a very, almost like a home place.
Hierarch, forgive me, but would you by any chance be able to help us procure a cowl or something of the like for Arvia here? Just before
Why would
we
I
go-
need a cowl?
If you wish to keep your hair color, it pays to keep yourself a little more obscured.
Fine. And, Devora, I'm sure I have something here that she could wear. Nothing as fine as what she was wearing before, of course.
I look at her and I say, it's good. Builds humility. Remember where you came from.
And she gestures to the side, and a few minutes later a servant comes in with a nicely folded brown cowl.
Do slaves have contracts here?
What do you mean by contracts?
Sapphire, she sent men to watch after us.
There was a guard who was escorting us to the point of entry to find Arvia when we were sent
Yes.
down underground.
Yes.
He's a slave, and Rakim here is curious as to what terms that is, to what extent that is. Is there binding ownership to the individual? What
Yes.
are the claims?
That is what makes them a slave.
Of course, but to what extent here in Nexus There's different forms of slavery. Some believe that there's not transaction, but simply pure ownership via might? Or is there more of a systematic process built into Nexus itself?
This was a slave that was probably purchased from the guild itself, and then, from what happens after that, it is her property.
So it would be unusual for anyone to say, I wish to purchase.
No. Slaves are bought and sold like any other good.
Is there a right that the owner has as to authorize and sort of reinforce their ownership, or?
Of course.
Which makes sense, his property. Well, you may want to look into purchasing, and I describe the guard. He definitely saw us come up.
I agree.
She grimaces a little. Very well. Someone, who made the request? That was...
Me.
You. Okay, give me a charisma socialized roll.
Yay!
I believe in you.
You have been minding your civilities, so you can have one extra die.
Trust in the heart of the dice.
2, 3.
Oh, also, I forgot about stunting. That's good.
Did you explain that to Greg?
I did not yet. So, Greg, stunting. Stunt everything that you do. That is, describe everything that you do. If you describe what you do, you will get an extra die. If you describe what you do and involve the environment in what you do, you will get 2 extra dice. If you, you will get 2 extra dice. What is it now? 2 extra dice and 1 success. And if you give a description that, well, makes everybody stop and go, wow, you'll get 2 extra dice and 2 automatic successes.
Wow.
So describe everything that you do.
Narration is key.
Do I have to ask for stunting dice, or do you just give it to me?
You should ask if I do not give it to you, because I will forget.
Yeah, I beg
Gotcha.
often. I beg very often.
Anyway.
No, that's great. Yeah.
There's no
you
shame in
encourage
begging.
stunting.
He's a total
Not a proud man.
I just kind of look at her and I get 5 successes.
Okay. Very well. I will see what I can do about purchasing this man's contract.
He's a good man.
I could use another hand around here, I suppose.
I let out, obviously, just a very big smile and just kind of nod silently. And I'm like, he's a good man. He's good to have, and I gesture at her, a strong leadership. Take care of good people.
And as you are looking, you can notice that Arvia has a very serious scowl on her face at all of this talk of buying and selling people.
He's better than drowning man in toilet.
Lau has a bit of a sour look on his face as well.
Are there any other questions that I can answer for you?
Did you have any prospective leads as far as where the emissary was last?
It is not so much... it is not so much a matter of finding him, but finding a way to contact him. He is not a normal person like us. He is more akin to, and she gestures toward Arvia, her father, but with a more direct hand in the city.
Interesting. Well, you did say at a minimum going to the, what was it,
The Palace
Palace
District.
District.
We
Yes.
should be able to hopefully find someone with an idea on how to contact him.
Sounds good. Thank you for your hospitality and information.
Yes, I believe this will be the beginning of a very good relationship.
I sincerely hope that it is. If she falls into the wrong hands, even if it is not the fair folk, the
You
results
needn't
will be
worry.
disastrous.
You need not worry at all. We're going to take every bit of care of her, Hierarch.
See that you do. Have a good day.
You as well.
I think I asked this last time. Is there anything I can do to make like an insight check on her just as we're leaving?
Yes, you can make a, what is it?
It's not investigation. Is that
no, it's a
bureaucracy,
it's a
or is that,
socialized
like...
roll.
Oh, it's still socialized. Great.
It's, let me find the actual word of it.
Integrity.
That'd be like
No.
wits or perception.
I think it's socialized versus integrity.
What it is...
Those are both great for me. I'm fine either way.
It is a read intention action, which is perception socialize.
Perception, socialize. Awesome. So that's plus 7. Cool. Oh, baby. That's 5 successes.
Okay. She appears sincere in her desire to protect the city. There is a note of resignation to her voice, as if this was her last resort on how to do this. She did not want to bring in outside help. She clearly attempted and exhausted all of her other methods of stopping Hierarch Sapphire, and they failed.
That's not great. I'll bow a little deeper to her as we leave.
This is such nice tiny house, I say as we're leaving and I'm scooching through the hallways.
And Arvia puts on the plain cloak, or cowl you asked for. And as she does, you note that the brilliant blue of what she was wearing before, it begins to bleed into the cowl itself, until eventually it has moved to the same color as her will exerts itself on her appearance.
This is fucking great, I say, and I fucking thumb over.
So much for disguises. That didn't quite work now, did it?
Well, covered head is still a covered head. I'll take it.
Maybe we should all wear bright blue cloaks and they won't have any idea which of us are.
I look at you and I say, yes. And I nod down at you.
I blink a couple times and look up at this 10-foot tall giant person and just frown and turn to Strings. Doesn't really have a sense of sarcasm now, does he?
No, and I find that to be intensely endearing.
I'll take your word for it.
You get used to it.
I don't think there are any deers in the city, but let's go.
I kind of shrug and I mount my gigantic horse.
Okay. And you begin making your way through the city.
Yeah. Once outside, Lau pulls out his only half-wrapped object, which Nadala, you see out of the one end of it, he's got a long object that is wrapped about 3/4 of the way in like linen, and at the end you probably can see little burnt fraying pieces, and the top end of it you see a gold dragon's mouth sort of wide open. And he pulls it out of his bag on his back, pulls out some more wrappings, and begins rewrapping the end of it, covering the top of the one end until that head disappears. While doing so, he'll just be talking to the group and say, "So whoever knows their way around here, perhaps lead the way towards the Palace District, right?"
Oh, that would probably be me. I've been here for probably longer than any of you. And I happen to know my way around the Palace District especially well. We're probably going to stick out like a sore thumb, though. Are you sure you want to be proceeding in as big a group as this?
Yeah.
We're looking for results quicker rather than slower, so the direct route would be my decision. Though you seem to be quite familiar with here, what would be your suggestion?
Can I make a roll of some kind to determine what I would know to be the fastest route to the Palace District?
That would be intelligence, wits, lore. Okay, so you got one success?
Yes, indeed.
Great. There is a long path and a short path that you could take. It is beginning to get later in the day. If you take the short path, you will probably arrive at the Palace District shortly after nightfall. Whereas if you take the longer path, it's going to be well into the evening. That said, the shorter path takes you through, like, the, what would you call it? The meatpacking district.
Like industrial?
So, yeah, not really. It's not really industrial because it's not about, like, the making stuff. It's literally where they bring, like, the animals to be slaughtered. So it's not a very pleasant place to be. Yeah, gross and smelly. The other way, if you go down to the docks and make your way through there, it's longer, but not as gross and smelly.
Yeah, I will convey this information to the group and add my own little insight and distaste at the meatpacking district.
I look to the girl and say, "Well,
You want me to choose?
this is your journey," and I kind of bend down to be as close to normal head level as I can. "This is your father. Where are we going?"
Well, I've been to the docks many times. I've never seen what the conditions are like there in the meatpacking district.
Trust me, my dear, you don't really want to know. It's quite awful. And the things they
I
do
need
to
to
animals there, simply abhorrent. I would really rather we travel through the docks. It's also possible that we might be able to see a couple contacts of mine along the way that might have any insight as to where your father has gone.
Nadala, I don't think you were listening. I believe she made her choice. Bring us to the meatpacking area.
Okay.
You remember a mission we are on, yes? I say as we're making our way to the girl.
You do know how to get there, right?
Yes,
right?
I know.
Oh, good. For a second there, I thought you didn't, because you just sat there and sort of blinked at me. But you do, right? You know what you're doing.
He's the best.
Yes.
Right. It'd be weird if he didn't. He wouldn't be the best if he didn't.
And
Well, that is-
simply contrary to everything we know.
That is true. No, that is very true. Very well. We'll go through the meatpacking district.
All right.
Keep your horse closer.
I look at Other girl, and I say, you remember mission we are on, yeah?
To protect me, bring me to my father.
And the mission you are on is to save father, find father, yes?
My mission is to save the people of this city from their condition. But first I must find my father.
Remember this. And I smile and just continue on.
She looks puzzled and then follows you. No
I'm
one
saying like
understands mountain.
very. They will when we get to the next scene. Anyway.
Lau follows Nadala wherever he brings us.
Yeah.
And where does Nadala bring us?
To the docks.
Let me packing his straight.
A grave.
Okay. The filthy streets are quiet as the sun sinks below the horizon. A gentle wind whips through the passages, lifting up trash and casting it aside. The shadows grow long in the fading light, and the smell of blood, probably from the nearby slaughterhouses, hangs in the air.
Oh man, if I was a death cult.
Arvia looks a little jittery, probably disturbed by that question that Naman Hakim asked. Anything? Any actions? Anybody doing anything?
I'm just keeping my head like on a swivel, and also just for a note, I'm.
Oh, we're
like,
just passing through here to get to the other place. If
Yep.
nothing happens
yeah,
here.
I'm very much within, like, I'm closer than arm's distance to Arvia.
Okay.
So if she moves or does anything, then I'm just making sure I'm just staying next
Can I
to
do
her.
a perception check with my elevated height to see if we're like about to get ambushed?
Everyone can make a wits awareness check.
Yay!
Oh boy,
no.
wits, that's my least. No, wait.
Wits awareness. Awareness is where it falls apart for me.
Okay, wits and awareness. How densely packed would you say this area is? Are there like
In
people
terms
out
of
and about?
people, yes,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out and about. It's an
Awesome.
active district. There are people at work. There are people bringing piles of meat or animals to slaughter.
Just for reference sake, Lau will be walking with Nadala and just sort of idly chatting as he leads us.
Looking.
Cool.
Woof, Greg. That's a lot of dice.
That's a big roll. I have 3 for awareness, 3 for wits, and then I have crowds, so I can roll 7.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I got 6 successes.
Oh man, those 2 10s.
It's dope.
Yeah, those 2 10s pulling it.
I got.
What did other people get?
I got 5.
Okay.
I got 2.
Okay.
As I'm looking around, specifically, I'm trying to use like my combat knowledge to see, because obviously, when you're going to work, when you're going about work, it's almost kind of like a humdrum thing. I'm looking for people who are clearly more attentive, aware, as I look through the crowd.
Okay. And what did you roll?
I rolled 2 successes. I was just trying to stunt. I don't know how you stunt awareness. that was the extent.
You could have 2 extra dice.
Yeah, he's a kind soul.
Yes, it gave me nothing, but I appreciate that you did it.
Okay, so who got a 3 or higher? Okay.
I did.
I did
Hey,
not.
yes,
Right,
for the,
yeah, we gotta
for the
talk.
podcast.
I did.
I rose my hand, and as while doing so, touched the wall gingerly. There we go. I interacted.
Nadala and Lau. Amidst the crowds of people, you see not anyone looking immediately hostile, but there is a group of people moving in your direction. The individuals there's roughly 20 of them as they're heading towards you. And then the first one draws a knife, and the crowds begin to scatter as you
he's
see the
got
grinning
company, boys.
faces of these
yay.
people.
I put my hands inside my gauntlets once he says we have company.
Rakim.
Oh, there's more than one, thank God.
Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our show. Come back next week for the next part of our adventure. Meanwhile, if you're ready for a live experience, follow our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/RPGBlender, where we've just begun a new live Paranoia game. And if you missed our past live episodes or are interested in some RPG tutorials, find us on YouTube at The RPG Blender. If you want to stay up to date on our releases, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RPG Blender, or subscribe on your podcast app of choice. We also have a tip jar and merch store if you'd like to contribute to improving this show. Links in the description. Music is The Punk Rock Show by My Free Mickey. Copyright 2012, licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution license. Thank you again, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.